Spurge here, and in this video we're going to break down the all-new HJC RPHA 91 helmet. So the RPHA 91 is going to be replacing the RPHA 90, and this is going to be your premium modular helmet from HJC. Now when we say modular, that means that the chin bar can come up. Unlike the previous version, this is actually locked into place and it's designed to be worn as either a 3/4 or as a full face helmet. That's a departure from the old helmet. A lot of changes that we're going to discuss here. That's just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Price has changed as well. So this helmet is now going to come in around the $550 to $565 mark to start. It will go up from there depending on graphics and changes that we see. But that is a $90 increase over the previous version. We still have the price match guarantee, and this helmet will still ship for free. The other main change is in the shell construction itself. The previous version was the PIM Plus composite shell. This is now the PIM EVO. PIM stands for Premium Integrated Matrix Shell, and the composite portion of this is carbon fiber aramid, which is the generic name for Kevlar, and then fiberglass. So the way that the EVO has shifted is it's a different kind of design where how those components are all being integrated together, and this one has a bit more of an aerodynamic shell to it. So let's go ahead and just pull up the previous outgoing version, and what you'll see when we talk about the aerodynamics of this, the actual chin bar and around the base actually looks beefier and more kind of like a bulldog's jowls, if you will. However, the overall shape of the helmet and the overall design of the helmet has gotten more aerodynamic, especially when we're talking about the modular design of this. So when you see the old version, it kind of was like a big sail up in the wind, and when you're looking at the new version, definitely sleeker, more attached around the helmet, and again, really now it's designed to be used in the 3/4 position where the old one was not. So that's just some of the basics that we're talking about when we're looking at this new PIM EVO shell versus the outgoing PIM Plus shell. So, other key notes here, you now have 4 shell sizes. So you get 1 additional shell size. Shell sizes will be extra small and small for 1 shell size. Medium is now its own shell, large is now its own shell, and extra large 2XL is its own shell. So previous version was just 3 shells. You now have 4 shell sizes for a better fit throughout the size range, 4 EPS liners, 4 intake vents, 3 exhaust vents. Weight has gone up. So this new helmet is now 4 pounds in a large. That is a 5-ounce increase over the older version. A lot of that weight change has been in the design of how they've beefed up the bottom and the sides of this helmet to allow for an integrated speaker and comm system. We'll get more into that later in the video. Now, from a sizing perspective, like I said, sizes will still range from an extra small up to a 2XL, but the internal fit on this is going to remain relatively true to size. Intermediate oval, a little bit longer front to back, slightly narrower down the side of the head when we're talking about the crown. There is just a little bit more room around the sides on the chin and around the cheeks, not noticeably. Like if you watched our RPHA 71 video, much more noticeable in that helmet. This helmet maintains very true to size of what you can expect from the outgoing version of the RPHA 90. So, what are other things that we've seen change here? So let's just walk through the helmet and we'll hit them one by one. So the vent change is noticeable down in the front. So you have 3 different positions. You go full closed, medium, or wide open. That does vent to the internal face shield on this. You'll also notice the button is no longer in the center. It's over on the side and it's just a regular pull-up now. So they've really gotten rid of the mechanism to pop that open. Easier to use, redesigned on the side. Doesn't have the same triangle design that we saw with the RPHA 70. So if you, or I'm sorry, with the RPHA 71. So if you watched my video discussing the changes that we're seeing with the entire RPHA line as it relates to the 71, that has a completely redesigned face shield. This is still, kind of harkens to the older design, but it is just, key significant changes with how it opens. And then the mechanism on the side, you just push forward, that pops right out for a quick change, and then you pop it right back in. The other thing that's changed is the drop-down sun visor on this. So it used to be hidden right along the side as well, but it was a little bit more up along the side of the helmet versus underneath. So where it's actually actuated from, still on the side, but now down underneath the side. And the other thing that's a key change is if you take this little pod off, so there's a little button, you just kind of push this down, and then the pod just slides off from the bottom. You'll see you have a switch under here now. And really what this switch does is the face shield itself is about 10 millimeters longer in size. And now you can use this switch to see exactly how far the face shield comes down. So if you've been, somebody that's complained about internal drop-down sun visors in the past because it comes down and it hits the bridge of your nose or it doesn't come down far enough, this little switch allows you, and I misspoke earlier as to the face shield, I'm talking about the internal sun visor. It changes exactly how far the internal sun visor is allowed to come down. So just a nice little feature. We really haven't seen this from anybody else, and it's definitely HJC kind of leading the way with that particular technology. The vent up top has been redesigned as well, just for a little bit more airflow. The older design was a bit more of a scoop kind of a look to it. This is actually sleeker. This actually allows more airflow, but has maintained and actually increased the aerodynamics. So you're getting more air, but you're not worrying about any kind of increase in wind noise there. They also redesigned the rear. So the old version used to have this kind of switch that you reach back to click. The newer version, again, playing into that aerodynamic redesign, is just a slider. So you can just reach back and close it or slide it open. Very easy to do, even if you're wearing motorcycle gloves. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about before I take this helmet off. If you're opening up the old version, you'll notice that you just have two pins kind of locking this into place. And like I said, this wasn't designed to be worn as a 3/4 helmet. The new version, when you open it up, you'll notice, I'm just going to set that aside, I'm not going to put that pod cover back on. You'll notice that it now locks into place a little bit differently. You're not going to have the large pins on the side. It kind of locks into place through the mechanism right here. And you're also getting this on the side, which means that you can lock it in the upright position. So if you decide that you want to ride it in a 3/4 style helmet, literally just push that red tab up and now it's locked into place. It will not come down. If you want to push it back down, you simply pull back on this little gray tab. You'll watch, you can actually see it happen here. If I pull back on this, the red lock just slides back down out of place, and then you can go ahead and you can close the helmet. So that is a big step forward for people that like to use their modular helmets in the 3/4 position. A lot of modulars out there in the market really aren't designed to be worn that way. This is now taking HJC's premium modular into a realm where you can use this as a 3/4 helmet. With that, move the old one off the table, and we will talk mostly about the interior of this particular helmet. All right, so I got my faithful little donut. Well, let's take a look at the inside. So double D-ring closure. You do have a full neck roll that rolls around here, and you will see you now have a battery pack. So unlike the previous version, you are going to have these pods on the side, and this will accept the new Bluetooth system from HJC. You have either a 50B or a 21B, and really the note here is that these correlate with Sena. This is a unit that's manufactured by Sena, and if you're not sure what a 50B can do, you want to check out a video on Sena's 50S or 50R. That is the technology that's going to be incorporated here. And then if you want to see what a 21B can do, you want to take a look at the video for the Sena 10S. That is that technology. Really, the too long didn't read here is that a lot of manufacturers are going to integrated comm systems. Personally, I do not like that. I like the freedom of being able to add whatever comm system to the helmet that I see fit. This really does lock you into going with a Sena unit, and it limits your choices. However, the positive of that is that because it's integrated into the helmet itself, helps to cut down on wind noise. And as you'll see as we take this apart, they were really specific about the channel cutouts that you will see in this helmet. And that's where we get into the interior. So the integrated neck roll is kind of snapped into the cheek pads itself, so everything kind of holds into place where you can tell that this helmet was really designed to cut down on erroneous wind noise. You can pull the neck roll out, so when you're cleaning it, that is very easy in, very easy out. When it is installed, however, helps to cut down the wind noise from the wind pushing up from below. Pulling out the cheek pads on this, simple 3-snap design, very easy in, very easy out. Not really a sophisticated cheek pad, I would say, but a little bit of a contour to it. And as we take a look behind the cheek pads, you'll get an idea of what we're talking about when we were mentioning the integrated comm system. So one of the things that I've noticed from some helmet manufacturers is that really their cutouts for the speaker pockets aren't nearly as sophisticated as some of the new comm systems that are on the market. This one actually has a little LH, so you know it's the left-hand side. So if you're not using a comm system, you can put these back in just to fill the gap. However, what I like about the pockets on this, and you can see not only is there a pocket, but then there's a little area to run the cable back in, so everything can be streamlined. You're not going to feel like there's any cables pressing against your head, but it's a deeper pocket cutout. So with certain manufacturers, they have speaker pockets cut out, but it's not necessarily deep enough for some of the new speakers that we're seeing on the market. As we're watching these comm system manufacturers really update the speaker technology, they're getting thicker for a better audiophile experience. By having that deeper cutout there, it just allows you to put the speaker all the way in and you don't feel like it's pressing up against your ear, which is important for a helmet that you're probably going to be putting down lots of miles on. Removing the actual liner itself, the one thing to note here, and we talked about this, very similar in its liner to the 71 that we just saw released as well. No pressure points at the front. There's no snaps at the front. It goes to a brow mount. Really easy to mount this in there, stay secure, doesn't feel like it wants to pull out or push back in as you're taking the helmet on and off. And then just two little simple snaps at the back. Helps to promote airflow. You can see it's very channeled in its cutout, and the channels cut into the EPS as well to really help promote airflow. The helmet itself, I would say, is as quiet as the previous version. So while they've managed to increase airflow a little bit, they haven't done much to make the helmet itself a little bit noisier. We did see that it does get a bit heavier. This one, I don't think I mentioned in the beginning, is just DOT rated. No change there from the previous version. But if you are looking for a premium helmet from HJC in the world of modulars, again, this is going to be a favorite when we talk about the previous RPHA 90, and with the changes made to the 91, there's a lot to really enjoy about how more aerodynamic and sophisticated some of the changes are with this particular helmet. Personally, I like the fact that you can actually use this in the 3/4 position now and it locks it into place for you. But there's a lot of folks out there that have been using the previous version of the RPHA 90, and there's going to be a lot of folks using this new 91 as well. And if you want to hear more about what they have to say, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, and you can read other rider reviews, folks that are already putting this helmet through its paces. And if you're still not sure as to which helmet is right for you and your riding style and your budget, you can reach out to one of our customer service reps, and they can walk you through all the different helmets available to make sure you find the right lid for your ride. I want to thank you for joining us today for this first look at the HJC RPHA 91 helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.